Hi, I will be interviewing today and asking you about your life.
Thank you for having me. I am very honored to be here with you today to answer whichever questions you may have for me.
When and where were you born?
I was born on November 30th, 1874, in Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, United Kingdom, to an aristocratic family. I am son to Lord Randolph Churchill and Jenny Churchill.
What was your childhood like?
I was born into the country's governing elite. I went to good schools and there were higher expectations for me. I had a fair academic performance, but my behavior, on the other hand, was not the greatest. My parents were estranged for the majority of my childhood. My relationship with my father was almost non-existent. For my mother, I loved her dearly, but at a distance. My brother Jack and I were raised by our nanny, Elizabeth Ann Everest.
What influenced your choices in Parliament?
My father was a grand influence. Although our connection was weak, I did learn from his successes and failures in Parliament.
Who was your first love? Why did you not marry her? Who did you marry?
My first love was Pamela Plowden. Then I fell in love with Violet Asquith, the daughter of the Prime Minister, and I almost proposed to her. But I ended up marrying Clementine Hosier in 1908, and we had 5 children together.
I noticed you sign your paintings with WSC. What does the S stand for?
It stands for Spencer.
Did you have any hobbies? If so, what were they?
I enjoyed painting. I think I painted over 500 pieces of art. I would say, personally, my favorite is the Tower of the Katobia Mosque.
Which political party were you a part of?
I was part of the Conservative Party, and I was Prime Minister from 1940 to 1945, and then again in 1951 to 1955.
Which words did you invent?
I invented the words summit and quisling.
What would you say is your greatest accomplishment?
I'd say my greatest accomplishment would be becoming Prime Minister twice and accomplishing what I have for my country, such as forging an alliance with the United States and Soviet Union to defeat Nazi Germany in World War II.
Which titles did you hold during your British government career?
Secretary of State for War and of State for Air and Second Sea Lord.
Did you have a fear of public speaking?
Not exactly. I enjoyed writing, so speeches were almost a hobby for me, but my speech impediment did scare me. I was afraid it would affect my career, but ended up becoming an endearing quality.
You have won a Nobel Prize. What did you win it for?
I was nominated for a Nobel Prize many times. I finally received it for literature in 1953. The literature that contributed to allowing me to receive this great honor are titled The World Crisis, The Second World War, History of the English-Speaking Peoples, Biography of My Father, and one for my ancestor, the Duke of Marlborough.
Which award did John F. Kennedy present to you?
He awarded me the first Honored Citizen of U.S. Award for remaining a close ally and friend of America through the war years.
What was your role in World War I?
I oversaw the Gallipoli campaign, and then I resigned from that and served in the Royal Scots Fusiliers on the Western Front.
What was your role in the Cold War?
During the Cold War, I gave one of my most famous speeches, the Iron Curtain speech. Here, I correctly stated that the Soviet Union was squashing free government in Central and Eastern Europe.
When and where were you a prisoner of war?
I was taken prisoner during the Second Boer War during 1899 to 1902. I was there as a war correspondent for the Morning Post newspaper. Although I was fairly insignificant at the time, but because of my family, the Boers took me and thought I could be of use to them. I escaped. My escape was made very public in England and ultimately helped my political career.
What were your likes and dislikes of Hitler?
Hitler was strong, was supported and respected, but a despicable man he was. There is not a single good thing I see in him. He continuously put his country in danger and made them think it was bravery. Do not like this man at all.
Is there anything you would like to say about the mental illnesses you struggled with?
My mental illness affected me differently every day. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. My symptoms included depression, mania, suicidal intentions, and inability to sleep. I refer to my depression as my black dog. Sometimes it caused me to do nothing for days, and other times I'd work from 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. My energy depended on what I was feeling. Despite having bipolar disorder, I was able to achieve greatness. I feel like I've influenced others and helped them through these times as well.
What would you say is your favorite beverage?
Hard to choose my favorite, but it is a fact that I have opened about 42,000 bottles of champagne between 1908 and 1965. I guess I was known for it because that is how much my scholarship is worth too. Ha ha!
Thank you for coming and joining me today. It has been a pleasure talking about your life. You are such an exciting man, and you have lived through so many interesting periods of time.
Thank you for having me. Today has been very exciting and very insightful.